Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're taking all that information you've gathered and we are laser focusing on one single movement, the one that's consistently called, the most effective way to build that defined, powerful upper chest. We're talking about the 30-degree incline dumbbell bench press. Our mission today is pretty simple. We want to give you the complete blueprint to absolutely master this lift. This isn't just about how to lift a weight. It's really a shortcut to getting the most size, strength, and that key definition in your upper chest. We're going to show you exactly why that 30-degree angle is magic.
Okay, let's unpack this then. The real gold in the material you sent over isn't just that it recommends the exercise. It's the mechanical justification behind it. I mean, if you really want that balanced physique, the upper chest just can't be an afterthought. So what's the fundamental difference between this and, say, any other chest exercise? It's all about optimization. We're trying to hit that hard-to-reach part of the pec, the clavicular head.
Absolutely. We're all chasing that fuller, rounded, almost that shelf-like look that really defines a great chest. And I see so many people either just defaulting to the flat bench, which is fine for overall size, but really hits the lower pec.
Or they crank the incline way up.
Exactly, up to like 45 degrees. It feels harder, but it often completely misses the point. So why is that 30-degree sweet spot so critical?
It's all about leverage, or, as the research puts it, it's about geometry and fiber recruitment. If you're sitting up at 45 degrees, you're not really doing a chest press anymore. You're basically doing a heavy shoulder press. Your anterior delts just take over.
They just hijack the whole movement.
They completely hijacked it. The critical insight here is that when you drop that angle down to 30, that whole recruitment pattern flips. You just dramatically reduce the shoulder dominance, and you put maximum mechanical tension right where you want it on those upper pectoral fibers.
So you're forcing the chest to do the work.
To initiate and finish the entire lift.
Yep, that makes perfect sense. So the bench angle is just a tool to change the leverage. But let me ask about a common argument I hear. People love barbells. They can lift way more weight. If size and strength is the goal, isn't lifting heavier with a barbell just better? Why dumbbells?
That's a fantastic question. And it really gets at the ego problem a lot of us have in the gym. And while, yes, a barbell lets you move the maximum load, dumbbells give you these layered benefits that are just crucial for hypertrophy.
Okay, like what?
Well, first, you get a vastly superior range of motion.
A deeper stretch.
A much deeper stretch. Unlike the fixed path of a barbell, you can bring the dumbbells lower, which is absolutely essential for creating that micro trauma that leads to muscle growth.
Okay, so a better stimulus for growth. That's one. What's the second reason?
The second reason is that dumbbells they're like a diagnostic tool. You can't compensate. If you have a strength imbalance, and pretty much everyone does, whether it's 10% or 20%, that weaker side is going to show. The dumbbell will lag, it'll wobble, it might fail first.
Yeah.
It immediately tells you where your asymmetry is so you can fix it. It's not just about aesthetics. It's about building a more structurally sound body.
So if you've been hiding behind a barbell, this exercise is going to expose you.
It will.
And if your shoulders are always burning out before your chest, you need to drop that angle.
Yep.
Okay, so we know why we're doing it. We know what we're using. But if you rush the setup, you can ruin the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk stability.
Absolutely. None of those mechanical benefits matter if your foundation is shaky. A stable base lets you press heavier and safer. First thing, the bench has to be set precisely. 30 degrees. This is not the time to eyeball it.
Right.
If your gym has the markers, use them. Because if you accidentally creep up to 45, you've just turned your chest day back into shoulder day.
And stability starts from the ground up, doesn't it? It's not just about the bench.
You've got to plant your feet flat on the ground. Think of your body as one big kinetic chain. Planting your feet gives you the tension and counterbalance you need. It stops you from sliding up the bench when the weight gets heavy. It stabilizes everything.
Okay, so feet planted. Then we move up to the upper body posture. This is where I see a lot of confusion. That idea of pulling your shoulder blades together and arching your back.
Yeah, and the cue I love from the source material is create a stable shelf. You need to actively retract and depress your shoulder blades. So pull them back and then pull them down, basically getting them out of the way.
So the arch in your back isn't the goal. It's
a consequence of doing that correctly.
Yeah.
It keeps your shoulders pinned, it elevates your chest a bit, and it makes the whole movement safer for your shoulder joints.
And if you don't do that,
if you let your shoulders roll forward, the delts take over again and you're right back to square one.
Got it. Scapular retraction is the secret weapon.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're set up. Dumbbells are up.
Yeah.
What about grip and wrists?
You can go with a standard palms forward grip, Or what a lot of people like is to slightly rotate them so your palms are angled a little inward. It can help with the squeeze at the top. But the non-negotiable is your wrist alignment. They have to stay straight, stacked right over your elbows.
Not bent back.
Never.
Yeah.
If your wrists start breaking, you're just leaking power and you're begging for an injury, keep those forearms perpendicular to the ground on the way down.
Okay, setup mastered.
Yeah.
Let's get into the execution.
Right.
I really like how the material breaks this down into 3 distinct sets with different goals. It's a clear roadmap. Let's start with set 1, the warm-up. This is 10 to 12 reps, very controlled.
Yeah.
It says to take a deep breath, lower slowly, feel the stretch, and then this is a crucial pause for a second or two at the bottom.
That pause is so key. Even in a warm-up, it just removes all momentum. You're forcing the muscles to contract from a dead stop. It teaches your body to recruit the right fibers from the very first rep. Then the press-up should be quick but controlled, bringing them a little closer at the top with a light squeeze.
You're just establishing that mind-muscle connection.
You're rehearsing for the main event.
Right. So now for set 2, we're shifting gears. This is the hypertrophy zone. Moderate weight, 8 to 10 reps, and this is where tempo becomes the absolute star of the show.
Exactly. This is where you maximize the negative. All the research points to this. The eccentric, the lowering phase is what causes the most micro trauma.
And that's what drives growth.
That's what drives growth.
Yeah.
So for this set, you're obsessing over a slow negative. You're aiming for a 3 to 4 second count on the way down. You should feel like you're fighting gravity the entire time.
It feels awful in the moment, but that's where the magic is. What about breathing when it gets tough?
Simple and critical. Big inhale on the way down, brace your core, and then a powerful exhale as you press up. And we have to mention the protection tip again. Keep those elbows at about a 45-degree angle to your body.
Not flared out to 90 degrees.
Never. That's how you injure your shoulder, especially with heavy weight. And keep that core tight like you're about to take a punch. It protects your lower back.
Okay, finally, set 3, the heavy one, 6 to 8 reps. The directive here is challenge yourself, but control is still king.
Control always trumps ego weight. Always. You're moving your maximal safe weight, but you still need that brief pause at the bottom to make sure you're pressing from your chest, not just bouncing out of the hole. And for this set, that hard squeeze at the top is an absolute requirement. You're trying to hit peak tension to make every single rep count.
So just to recap the non-negotiables.
Yeah.
Don't flare your elbows, keep the dumbbells stable, and never, ever bounce the weight.
If you feel like you have to bounce it, the weight's too heavy. Simple as that.
This brings up a good question. Since the form is so specific, what are the biggest mistakes you see people making?
Well, the sources identified 4 common errors that pretty much guarantee you shift the work away from the upper chest. Number 1 is the bench being too steep. The 45-degree error we already talked about. It just becomes a shoulder exercise.
Right. The second one is more subtle, but it's about tension, letting the dumbbells touch at the top.
Correct. The second they clink together, you're resting. The tension is gone. You want to keep them just a little bit apart to keep those pecs firing the entire time.
Continuous tension. Mistake number 3 is just rushing.
Just flying through the reps. Skipping that controlled eccentric means you're leaving, so much muscle activation on the table.
And mistake number 4 just brings us back to our big theme, doesn't it?
Not controlling the negative. It's basically choosing to ignore the most powerful tool you have for building muscle.
Once you nail this down, though, the exercise is really adaptable, isn't it?
Highly adaptable.
The sources gave a few variations for progression. First up, the single-arm incline press.
Yeah, that one is specifically for fixing those imbalances we talked about. If your left arm is always lagging, dedicating a set to single arm work is a fantastic way to force it to catch up.
And if you want to increase time under tension without jumping up in weight, you can just add a dedicated longer pause at the bottom, right? Maybe 2 full seconds.
Another great tool. And then there's the more advanced one, the incline press fly combo.
The material called that the ultimate upper chest stretch and pump.
It is. You move right from a press into a fly, or you alternate reps. It just maximizes both the stretch and that hard contraction. It's brutal, but effective.
And the last variation is really just reinforcing the main principle. consciously controlled negatives, taking that 3 to 4 seconds on every rep.
The big picture is that progression isn't just about adding more weight. It's about combining all these methods, perfect form, tempo, consistency. That's the real roadmap.
So to wrap this deep dive up, it seems clear, the 30-degree incline dumbbell bench press, when you do it with meticulous form and tempo, is pretty much the must-do movement for upper chest growth.
And the practical application is simple. The recommendation is to include it 2, maybe 3 times a week on a push day. And remember, success all comes down to that 30-degree angle, that controlled tempo, and consistent progression, whether that's more weight or more time under tension.
The material we reviewed really hammered this point home. Missing the controlled negative means you are missing out on fundamental hypertrophy benefits. So here's a thought for you to mull over for your next workout. If your goal is maximizing muscle size, does the lowering of the weight, that 3 to 4 seconds of control, actually matter more than how fast you can push it up? Is that negative phase the true unsung hero of building muscle? That's something to think about until next time.